administrator. I don't have to see the people. And the minister does not have to see anybody who applies for work permit. And we said something here last time. Look, work permit in itself is not job. Somebody said, we said that over and over. Work permit is a legal requirement under the law that if you are a foreigner and you went to a country that you are not a citizen, for you to work, you will get this authorization from the Ministry of Labor to work in that country. So it's an authorization, it's not job. You may receive authorization to work in Liberia and maybe you're not able to find a job. You have to leave. Liberians do not need work permit from the Ministry of Labor to go look for a job. No, you do not. And I've said this to quite a few that in Liberia, we got a couple of industries we have in Liberia here. There is no one industry right now in Liberia that have more foreigners working for them than Liberia. All of the industries that we visited, there are more Liberians working there than foreign workers. Take for example, you take a long time investor here, FASO. I visited FASO. I think the total number of foreign workers in FASO, I think 5 or 6. The rest of the thousands of people there, they're all Liberians. I think there was a report I was put up by Meta Steel 2 weeks ago in one of the newspapers where they informed the public that Liberian workers with Meta Steel directly is around 7,000 plus. Foreign workers, they have 1,000 something. And so the story is all over. Beer Mountain, the last information we got from there, Liberian workers in Beer Mountain are 6,000 plus. Foreign workers, 2,000 something. So this is all across the country. We know that right now, job opportunity in Liberia is difficult. So our emphasis is how do we create jobs, and we're doing it in our own way. We try to do what we can, but it has to be done legally to see how we can create opportunities for Liberia. That is also our responsibility. This is why you see today we took one step and said, look, they have to students. Last year we had about 360 students for vacation job. This year we said, look, let's see if we can expand it. We are looking for 1,000 students to be this year through the ministry. But we did not want to do that in secrecy. We have to talk about it. Last week when I was here, I talk about it. But the response we got now is so overwhelming. Okay, though we are targeting 1,000, but at the ministry, we can't even have a way to climb the steps, the number of students that you see there. So you can see the need of our people, of the students. And we try to work with them. But as we experience this year, we're trying to do it better. Next year, I believe, if we have to do vacation job, next year, or opportunity for vacation job for our students next year, maybe we'll create a portal where you apply online, and then we'll be able to, if we review your application, if it's possible for us to help you, we will tell you a notice, come to the ministry and get a letter to go back so please. Every day is a learning curve. We will try to improve on that. The way they are there this year will not be the same like next year. We hope we can do more and better next year too. This is where we are. And all of us, we got to help. I mean, in a country like ours, where we have assistance from foreign country, other countries, or other, international organizations and things.
significantly reduce congestion. In 2022, we launched an ambitious automation and digitization initiative, strengthening operational performance and giving customers greater transparency and speed. The successful project of the Freeport of Monrovia, also launched in 2022, funded by the National Port Authority and executed in close partnership with APM Terminals, was a transformative milestone. By deepening both draft and beam, we opened the gateway for larger, more modern vessels to call this port, unlocking new potential for Liberia's maritime trade. Building on its foundation, in 2023, we invested over $15 million to bring in 2 Leapmotor 600 mobile cars. These machines have enabled us to handle the vessel for the first time, eliminating long-standing limitations and giving us more operational flexibility. Today, we take yet another big step forward. The combination of equipment as
Bring us together at this hour. We ask your blessing upon us as we deliberate this very important subject. Guide and bless us in your name we pray. Amen. Y'all did well?
Yeah, extremely well.
Councilor Raleigh.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, so Sergeant, please administer the oath.
Lift your right hand. Keep abdomen. Do you hereby swear? Do you hereby swear? Testimony about it here. Testimony about it here. True. Amen. Please stand up. Chair, member of the Joint Committee on Labor and Judiciary and Petition, within a qualified for state.
Thank you, Sergeant. You have your seat, please. Next will be self-introduction by ourselves. Beginning with me, I'm Senator Councilor Augustine as Chair. I'm the Chair on the Senate Committee on Judiciary. The presiding officer for this year.
And I'm Senator Thomas Newman, Chair on Labor.
Senator Butler, do it. Okay, go ahead.
I'm Senator Boymount Taylor.
My name is Senator Thomas Smith of Riverside County, Chair on Agriculture, Forestry, and Fishery, and also former Chair of the Labor Committee of the Senate.
My name is
Hello.
My name is Emmanuel Nukoi. I come from Nagini County, and I'm the co-chair of the Labor Committee and also a member of the Judiciary Committee.
My name is Jay Glover Brown, Senator of Maryland County.
I'm Benekai Alex Tyler, Senator of Coleman County, Chairman of the Committee on Commerce, member of the Judiciary Committee.
Anybody else?
introduce yourself.
My co-chair, right? We are co-chair.
My name is Nyato Jr., Senator of Lima County.
Senator Councilor Joseph Chala, Senior Senator Local Government, Chairman Banking and Currency, Co-Chair Judiciary. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, honorables, for coming. Today, we call you here to look at certain sections of the Decent Work Act of 2015. We have been working along with this from the labor. Oh, okay. Sorry.
I need to welcome you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello. Again, I'd like to take this time to welcome all of you to the House of Senate.
Sorry, Mr. Again, I'm Senator Chair. I'm the chair on the Committee on Judiciary. Co-presiding with me is Senator Yahya Nimle, Samuel Yahya Nimle. I think my co-chair on the Judiciary Committee also introduced himself earlier. We want to welcome you on behalf of the Joint Committee. This is a public hearing to consider the proposed amendment to the Decent Work Act and the Social Security Act in respect of retirement pension. I give you a copy, each of you should have a copy. Do you have? Yes. Do you all have it? Okay, to look at. Sorry, we should have sent it to you for rules before coming. But just as since it was not a bulky document, you will just do that quickly. That's why I shared with you before this time. And it speaks for itself. It says an act to amend Chapter 22, Social Security of the Decent Work Act 2015 to provide for equitable compensation across the board for employees upon retirement. We have the DWA that speaks to retirement pension. We have the Social Security Act, under which the NASCOP provides retirement pension to a member of our workforce upon retirement. Before this time, we had the Labor Practices Law. Under the Labor Practices Law, we had a dual pension system where the employer was required to provide retirement pension to employees upon retirement based on tenure. And then Social Security provided retirement pension based on age. But then when the Decent Work Act was drafted and passed, it consolidated everything, giving the responsibility for retirement pension to the Social Security. I mean, based on tenure, as it's done on the world over. But what we have observed over time, especially since the passage of the DWA, is that a segment of our workforce is left out of the pension scheme, meaning that if a person is retired before becoming eligible for the Social Security pension, they will not be able
to come from. Because you citizen in your own country, then Burkina be take over your place. Then who are you? But we'll take our own time to have it resolved, because we don't want people to harm you people. So in solving those kind of problems, you have to take your time to solve it. Because when we solve problem that will be a harm to you people, that means we have not solved no problem. So we must solve it in a way that it will not be a harm to you people, so all of us can be together. So I will join him we will see what to do. Because they think not only your problem. Even in Maryland, the Burkinabes are there too. Right?
Yes.
We've been hearing it. What are the kind of things that we lawmakers are supposed to stay on? To tell the president, say the other action, when you not take it, we will not do the other one. Exactly. But my brother, when you not join president, you will not steal. Because president are rule. So most of our people finish joining president. So it's hard for us to talk for you.
Yes.
Because in the house, majority take the day.
Yes.
We'll talk all the things they want to talk. The reason why I can cancel and talk it is because I want the Liberian people to know that I talk.
Yes.
So tomorrow when you're Joshua, I say, no, we can't put you get it because you get tough for all.
Yeah.
And you see the difference?
Yeah.
I know when I want to, we're not going nowhere. But when the time for you to investigate, you will say, we'll put you there. Why you get what talking, you didn't talk?
Yeah, exactly.
The problem is all around.
Yes.
Then the people go back to Burkina. But we have to take it in a way that it will not affect you. Yeah? So if the Rewaji representative, the Maryland County representative, the Grand Chile representative, all up put together, we join them. You know what happened? When Joseph Baga bring them paper, will not pass it. We say go and solve that problem before we pass the paper.
Yeah.
Very good. But some of the people you brought, they have become an embarrassment to you.
Yes.
Yes.
Because they don't want to tell president, say, oh, forget about the poor man. When they tell me, we'll go talk to them. And like, bro, put to ourselves our own problem.
Yes.
You don't know where we're taking the stolen money from, but when you come give it to you, then you vote for us. Then how will solve the problem now? 2029, we will tell your lawmaker and are causing problem for your in the country. We'll tell you who are those people. Okay. And we'll tell them, say, when they bring the money, eat it like your money.
Yes.
The money will steal in like your own, bring it to you. Yeah. Eat it. Don't vote against them. So, who's the most senior person among you?
That they end the rescue and the rescue. The price is very increasing. So nothing dropping.
So but then why you voted for rescue?
I voted for change. You're not seeing the change.
If you say you voted for change, during Joe Weirton, you was buying Budakuda for sorry, don't cry. Sorry, don't cry, baby.
I tell the 40,000 trouble. I see people don't have me, don't tell me for the trouble. I owe you the thing they say I fell on the back of it. I'm in trouble. I can't come outside the thing because they put it on to me. You got credit on the back and they don't buy it. You got a 10% increase. See, they pay the 40. Why you the winner? So I said they help me.
Okay.
I came to India in private. Yeah, you see what will pass through. I said, they have session. Let's go. Let's go now. No. Joseph Baga will come sit down with you. In the rescue and the rescue, the price is very increasing. So nothing dropping.
So but then why you voted for rescue?
I voted for change. You're not seeing the change.
But if you say you voted for change, during Joe Weirton, you was buying Budakuda for sorry, don't cry. Sorry, don't cry, baby.
I I tell the 40,000 trouble. I see people don't help me, don't tell me for the trouble. I owe you. July 26 is the day we'll rally the people. The regime that is bending on compromising justice to please the political elites and the patronage must be met with the forceful resolve of the conscious militants and revolutionaries and the barricade of consciousness. Let us say this to those progressive in government: we are not disappointed, because when we all knew that a day will come that you will be at the crossroad. Yesterday, you championed the demand for April 14, 1979. It was all in your recitation that the progressive were never wrong to challenge multi-party democracy in this country. Today, Mr. Boyka is a beneficiary of the democracy that was ushered in by selfless men and women who laid down their lives, regardless of the men and women that stood before them, regardless of the army that conversed them, to usher in a Boyka that, according to him, could not even drink milk when he was born, to be living at the luxury opponents of the people and taking home a budget around 4 million, and you come here and make mockery of the people that sacrifice their life in making sure that you live as opponents, and you think will allow you go scot-free by misinterpreting and misreading history. You are joking, Mr. President. You are joking. This is a historical cause that we are prepared to champion. We are prepared to champion the cause for the dignification of those people that are lying at the mass grave when you went there and criminate Reno our trouble from the mountain and brought them to give you a befitting funeral only because you want to have a name made for yourself among the American Liberians. Only because you want your administration to be given an international acclaim process that you did what our administration could not have done. You cannot rebury gold without thinking about reburying Will Capital. You cannot rebury gold without thinking about reburying Aaron Nipsey. These people, these men and women, blood was used as a water to fetter the revolution and lay the blueprint of the democracy that you enjoy today. If the government of Liberia cannot commemorate that committee, involve student leaders in this country to commemorate and celebrate a general reconciliatory effort, the July 26th celebration will be another historical.
So let me say a pleasant good evening from Liberia and welcome to the roundtable, folks. It's a pleasure to be on today's July 3rd, 2025 edition of the program here on Wiz TV. We are live on Facebook and also live on YouTube as well. So we have to come on here to run with the program this wonderful evening from Liberia. So let me say good evening to all of you. If you just joined us, we basically going to talk about some of these issues that are making news across Liberia. We also have Mr. Abu, who is also joining us on the show. He's one of our panelists, and we'd like to say good evening to you, Mr. Abu, and welcome to the roundtable.
Thank you so much. I'm so elated to be here today. Since we started Wiz TV, we know we are getting a lot of viewers and the listenership is increasing. And I'm really elated to be here today. And I know the Liberian people are out there. Those who do not know me, I'm the same one that you saw a few years ago and getting back on the radio. Thank you so much for having me, Bill.
Thank you for coming on to this presentation on Wiz TV, Mr. Abu. So we basically gonna run through with our points on the program. We also have Mr. Cyrus Gray to come on and be part of the discussion this evening. Wherever he will be joining us from, we basically be looking at the situation at the Supreme Court with the legislature, let's say from the speaker, former speaker, and where they have had several other situations concerning the building also intact situation, also intact case with the Liberia National Police Security Investigation. Finally, turning the case over to the Supreme Court. We're going to be looking at that. And we also saw a recent statement on today concerning that case. We talked deeply with that as well. And we also going to talk about, the National Food Assistance Act that was signed into law, making it to establish an institution that will cater to, provide food assistance for Liberians. We also going to look at that as well, and we'll be talking about the Ministry of Labor as well as the Ministry of Support Responsibilities. Several hundreds of people at the Ministry of Labor trying get on the vacation of our program, and it was tense since 5 a.m. this morning. They were at the Ministry of Labor trying to get the class for the vacation job program. So, welcome, Mr. Abu, on the program, and say welcome. Let's talk a little bit. Let's have our discussion firstly surrounding the situation about the Oscar attack, a case at the Supreme Court involving former House Speaker Bonatti Kofa.
Absolutely. Thank you for really inviting me here today. That's a good topic to be discussing. At the same time, we also have to be mindful that it may be sub judice since the case is already bad to be given it. But today we expect this to be our own opinions, which we expect as a disclaimer not to have any impact on the judgment that will be made by the judiciary. Where those are all allegations, really, that those people are complicit, according to the indictment, that they are complicit to whatever happened at the Capitol building, whether it was an arson attack or whether it was whatever was responsible for it. But I still believe, that the law is the law, and those who are being held complicit to this particular thing, to that fire incident, I think they should have the fair judgment, and I think the judiciary is doing its best at this time. Also, there may be a lot of emotions coming out. People feel that, because that's the former speaker, so there's a high-profile case. What makes it a high-profile case? That's just another thing. Somebody attempted, or somebody is being held allegedly responsible for a fire incident at a Capitol building, one of our biggest homes that we have in Liberia for the legislature. And if this happens, I mean, the idea, except that it has happened, I don't think we should take it lightly. It cannot continue to be the regular Liberian thing that people do these things and go away. And I really want to call on Liberians. There's no need to look at that as a high-profile case, because what it did, anybody from West Point or anybody from any part of Monrovia, whether they ride in BB cars or not, could walk in there and do it. Now, if they are the one who did it, I think they should be held responsible, and the law should take its full course. Because this has really never happened at a Capitol building, and people will say, oh, you are witch hunting. But look, the government cannot be witch hunting at this time. It cannot be a witch hunt at this time, because it becomes a witch hunt when certain people are being held liable or complicit to the crime, so we say it's a witch hunt. What if we have been just another Joe Blow that came from down West Point or just came from Newtown to come and do that? Everybody will be saying that we should crucify them, Is it because the names like Kofi and Kamara, and these are people who consider as big guys in the town? But they must consider that these are the big guys. They didn't go up there by themselves. They were elected by the common people. The common people elected them. And when they are now in complicit of being the people responsible for the burning down of the common people house, that's a disrespect to the common people. They shouldn't even do it. And I still pray that the law will take its course.
You have supporters from the Kofa Uncle saying is situation, and the entire situation is politically motivated. You have whole lots of different statement coming in. But do you think the public, in your opinion, the public should be able to trust the justice system involved in this case? And also, what do you think about some citizens calling on all of these lawmakers that are involved to, go on the backstage from their positions as lawmakers and have the case being investigated fast and have kind of verdict? What do you think, and what's your own opinion on these questions and concerns about the entire situation at the Capitol building? Alleged also attack case.
Most of your audio is coming on actually faint, and I may not be hearing or understanding all of them, but I think you are talking about what the public will say, or the public will say that these people, but whoever would have been the common person who is not a legislature that when they acted on behalf of the legislature, of those guys who are members of the legislature. But I can tell you, no common person will just get up and walk into the Capitol building to go set fire if they did not have an insider who told them where to do and what not to do. And at the same time, as we can all understand here in Liberia, at the time it happened, there was a case on the ground where we had a majority group and another group called a sub-minority group, and all of them were there fighting for leadership, fighting for recognition, and fighting to become the people of belonging to that Capitol building. And this was going on. One group was considering itself as being marginalized. So the people who were being considered as being marginalized, they definitely are the people who were fighting back. And as they fought back, people decided to follow them. And I'm actually not indicting them that they did it, but it's highly likely. This tends to be proven by the court, and the court will tell us who really did it. But in my own opinion, I mean, there are instances that we know that there are people who were their supporters or people who were their sympathizers who would have said, we're going to burn that place down. I think if we listen to some of the audios that came out from the investigation, I mean, we cannot actually say, because these may not be things that may be accepted, in a law court. But as we go through social media now, laws have been passed in various countries that these can be accepted, in court. So as a matter of fact, I still believe that the evidences that the police were able to gather to lead to the indictment, I think should be considered as a high-profile evidence, and it should be used. We shouldn't look at these people who are being held now to be high-profile people, because they brought themselves down. They did not think like high-profile people.
Also, do you think with this case, it shows some fairness in the justice system of Liberia?
The justice system, for me, personally, I believe in the justice system. The only time people decide to have reluctance in the justice system, it is because of either judgments that are not in their favor, or maybe because they don't like the players who are making these judgments. So they will say that they don't believe in the justice system. But if you look at Liberia, Liberia has one of the finest laws. We have good laws in our country, but it's the enforcement and the implementation that becomes the problem. And this is based on our own people who are being appointed into positions to take responsibility for this enforcement and other things. And the problem we have is this thing: they say you use your judgment, or you use your judgment, So some people are really not, because we do not vouch people to know whether they are thinking right, So we believe that because they did a study in this, so therefore that they are very good people. But in addition to the studies that you did as a lawyer, you also have your emotions. And not everything that you do, everything that is right can be legal, or not everything that is legal may be right. you know. But we do listen to it. We have our own common senses, and we feel that whatever the law says, that's the law. So if these guys are being held for what they did or what they are alleged to have done in the burning down or setting fire in the Capitol building, I think the law, I do trust the law. I know whatever happens in the future, the law will come down as it is. And I trust the current judicial system. We trust the circuit court. I think that we were there were many times Kofor went to court twice, and the judiciary had to interpret whatever he went for. And what happened? In the end, he had to resign. He was not removed as speaker. He resigned. So based on the circumstances that were there, we also believe, that he started fighting, almost 7 months fighting to retain his position, but he couldn't retain it. And he finally gave up. He threw the towel. So I still believe that we need to have a time to trust the justice system. The judiciary is doing very well. The president is appointing very competent people into the judiciary. Like recently, he appointed a new Chief Justice. He is a fine gentleman, well educated, well acquainted with the law, and I think he was appointed based on his track record of what he has done. And he coming to that position, believe that there is going to be justice for a lot of people in Liberia. Many people will tell you that justice, they are not giving fair judgment in justice. It's because many of them do not follow the routine. Every Liberian believes that we must know somebody in the court before we have good judgment, and it cannot be like that. There are people who go to court that know no one there, and the cases are judged based on the evidences that are adduced and the arguments of the prosecution and the defendants. I'm not a lawyer, but I think that's just my personal opinion. So what's going on in Monrovia today?
We have a lot of things. We had a lot of things happening, especially at the Ministry of Labor, where we have, group of young people, like I'm about to on screen, group of young people. Uh, we're at the Ministry of Labor. Over hundreds of young people was at the Ministry of Labor to apply for the vocation job that is being introduced by the government of Liberia through His Excellency President Joseph Boakai. And we saw a statement coming in from the president about the situation today. So we also gonna talk about this. I think I listened to the labor minister about the situation, and he said there's gonna be some measures instead of these young people that are here going out at the ministry to queue in for a long period of time. They should be able to apply from an e-porter system that will give them the opportunity to apply for the job at the Ministry of Labor in collaboration with the Ministry of Youth and Sports. And this is something that we need to take into consideration. It shows how a lot of young people across the country are very determined about having these kind of opportunities, and it shows to the government that also there's a lot needs to be done in order to making sure that we can have employment opportunity for young people across the country, because this is commendable, but again, there's still a lot needs to be done, because if we have these kind of opportunities for young people, I believe is something that will also contribute toward the growth and development of the country, and you can have a lot of young people able to get on the vacation job and be able to, further sustain themselves for the upcoming school year. So again, it's also a good one, and we think and hope that our country and as well as the Ministry of Labor can be able to further move on to create a more easier way to have people, young people that see these kind of opportunity commendable by the government, be able to get easy access. It was actually a long queue today, Mr. Abu, and you have a lot of these people in lines from 5 a.m. in the morning only because they want to get there and go to carry on their interview process and be able to obtain a space for this kind of opportunity that will be able to bring some funding in to sustain them and help them for their educational sojourn for the upcoming school year. So it was something that raised serious concern by many Liberians, having people standing that long number is actually a long number, let's say long queue, huge number of people that were there, going to apply for this kind of opportunity. So yeah, but like the minister said, um, uh, they are going to put some measures in place and more opportunities to have young people coming in and taking advantage of these kind of opportunity. One thing I also wanted us to look at is the full national food assistant agency that was being signed into law, the National Food Assistant Act that was being signed into law by the president. And if we look at this, I think is a good initiative by the president. And uh, like we saw of recent, several former government officials from the past government were uh, taken into you know, uh, court and placed behind bars for some hours, only because they couldn't account for, something like this, rest that were given to the former government to be shared on people, from Saudi Arabia to be shared on Liberians that needed it at the time. And you have a lot of these guys who worked in government at the time using it for some other person's uh, benefit. So I think if we have this kind of agency, it speaks volume that we can have accountability and the right things be done once we have the trusted people that will be there. So I don't know what you think about the act being passed into law and having an agency that will also be able to take care of food assistance program, Mr. Abu.
Um, Thank you so much for that particular elaboration. First, let's go to these students, the Ministry of Labor pronouncing or committing itself to provide 1,000 vacation jobs for Liberian students. This is not a new thing. Liberian students have always had vacation jobs, and many of them do work. But what happens is that for the rush this morning, most Liberians just love to rush, and it is because not only because they love to rush, it's because many people don't listen to instructions. And sometimes even I can blame the Ministry of Labor. Maybe they did announce this vacation job last minute of time, and there was absolutely no procedure put in place. They just had few people printed the forms and decided to give it. I mean, just as you said, if they decide to have an online portal, when we did vacation job in the past, we knew that there was going to be vacation job. And then we started applying for vacation job during the second semester, or almost at those days. I think school used to close in December and open in March. And by November, everybody started running after the vacation job. Sometimes by the time December starts, some people start a vacation job before graduation. But today, Liberians love to rush. If you go to the bus, if you go even at the transport center, people rushing to get in car. The only place that sometimes you don't see people rushing to go that will go to church. But Liberians love to rush. You even go to the football field, everybody rushing, and the game will not start until a particular time, but people will wait until last minute of time. The Minister of Labor is having a good intention to provide vacation jobs, but who is responsible? What is the criteria set for this vacation job? Is it for high school graduates, or is it for any adult who is out of high school who is ready to work? Is it for college graduates, or what particular criteria is being set for who is supposed to get a job? Tell us, Mr. Minister, where are the places that you want these people to work? And what kind of work do you want them to do? And how long are they going to be working for if they are going to work? And are you going to provide a means for them to get to work? Because how much are they going to pay them if they decide to work? How long are they going to work for? Are they going to work for 1 month, for 2 months, for 3 months? Or is it just the regular thing of flair? We decide, oh, let's put some money in the budget to give every student that comes here, we give them $100. But then if you're going to pay them $100, how much are they going to pay their transportation to go to work? So all of these should have been part of the thing. The ministry must not just announce that we're going to give vacation job, because if we tell us that we're going to give vacation job, there should be a point. Now it is only in Monrovia. What happens to the students in Kakata? What happens to the students in Bomi, in Cape Mount? Because of the announcement they made and no further instructions, if you look among that group, there are people who are coming, who ran from Kakata this morning to come and be part of that group. There are people who are from Firestone, Rowersfield. They came there to be part of it, because we know that some of these jobs that they are giving are not jobs that are situated directly in Monrovia. They are jobs, some of them may be either with some of the companies that are around. So tell us exactly, Mr. Minister, where are these students going to work? You know, because if I know that I'm going to be assigned somewhere in Painesville, I'm not going to rush downtown to get a job in downtown just to be assigned in Painesville. And in such situation, they were supposed to have various centers. Those in Painesville, we are giving their papers, or we are giving their forms at social center. Those across the bridge, their letters will be given, or their forms will be received from this point. And the forms are to be given at different locations to stop all of this rush. You know, that's one thing, controlling the rush, that's it. Because in that rush, some people got up this morning without even finding food to eat. Some people are hustling, they are daily hustlers. You know, and you look among that group, there are some people who have not worked for a very long time. Some people, that's their first opportunity for a job. And they go there. You're not going to give them job. And in the end, you say 1,000, but you got more than 5,000 people outside there. So what's going to happen? A lot of people are going to be disappointed. And especially when, because there are no criteria set and the procedure don't seem to be correct, then the corruption that we say we are fighting against is going to come in. Those who are giving the forms are going to hold on the forms for people who do not even come to that center and take the form and give it to them. We have to be very careful for people who are in charge of these things not to creep into a corruption, because some people will stay at home and their friends will come and collect forms for them. So we are talking about a procedure being set. Who gets the form? What do you do? Yes, I saw someone today. They say yesterday they gave them some tickets. Those who receive the tickets, are they the ones going to be prioritized today? You know, so we agree that the job business is all right, but we cannot use it as a means to make some people who are responsible to be corrupt. Those directors there, they want their children to work, and they are going to have their children stay home. Don't go there. The place is too crowded. I will bring the form for you at home. That is wrong. You know, so if the labor minister or the labor ministry wants to do a good job, they should hold on that until they put the proper procedure in place. It is not a matter of, say, you create an online portal. You are going to create an online portal. Do you already have a team to monitor that portal? Because as soon as you start, you are going to get a glitch in the computer system, in the internet system. The internet system is already not good. So what is going to happen when you say everybody must go on the internet? You are going to have people at the World Trade Center standing online to have the thing going. We saw people doing it when it was time for the DV play, for playing the DV lottery. So if you say you're going to have the how we call the thing, you're going to have this
vacation job, vacation.
yeah, computer portal, that is not going to be a very good thing because you have announced the thing very late and you are going to have the whole internet system blocked up in the country and some people will not have an opportunity. And as you begin to do that, you are creating money eating for those who sit down to World Trade Center to do it for people. You pay money and sometimes you will not even be lucky, you know. So, I mean, I really believe that this is a very good venture, but there must be a procedure, and that the procedure be very clear and explain to the people. Let them put a halt to that and have the time to go on radio to explain to the people who are we giving the job to, who qualifies for the job, how do you come to get the paper, where are you going to work, how long is going to be the job, and how much do we expect to pay you. These are things that should be put in place. I know the labor ministry may have had those things, but because they have not communicated it to the people, because there may be somebody who just wants to have a work experience. There may be somebody who is already having full-time sponsorship, that if you say you're only going to pay them $100 at the end of the day, some people make more than $100 at the end of 1 month or 2 months. They make $100. So they're not going to waste their time every morning getting on car, paying the transportation to come and do a vacation job only because they are going to get $100 or $125 at the end of the day. Some people make more money than that. So we believe that the labor ministry should be able to explain all of this procedure and the different criteria to the people. Once they get the understanding, you'll see that the crowd will be controlled. Because as they continue to go there, the next thing is they are going to create security problem and the police is going to come in and start beating people, which is very wrong. So, Mr. Minister, Minister of Labor, where I'm please appealing to you, take your time. Please explain to the people what it is and what you are doing exactly. Don't rush.
Also,
you talk about the act establishing the national.
Yes, the National Food Assistance Act passed into law, signed into law by the president.
Okay. I don't know whether maybe sometimes documentations get missing at the Capitol building or somewhere like that. But I know we used to have NFAA, which was the National Food Assistance Agency. They were absolutely responsible for food distribution. And what they used to do was, I think, CARE or the donors brought the food to them, and they were the one responsible for school feeding. They were transporting the food to the schools, transporting the food to other agencies and other areas. But I need to read that document perfectly to know the new document, what is the responsibility of this particular act? Is that intended to let the people make farms so that they can put food into the food assistance agency? And what is going to be the work of that food assistance agency different from the Ministry of Agriculture in creating food security for the people?
Yeah, so I am trying to get hold of the document and to be able to read it as well. I will also share with you. Still trying to get hold of that. Also today, Vice President Jeremiah Kuhn was at the National Port Authority at the Freeport of Monrovia, where they carry on an official launching program for, the terminal there to be run 24 hours. So according to the Vice President, he called on the management of the APM terminal and the National Port Authority, as well as the Liberia Revenue Authority, to ensure that their operations at the Freeport of Monrovia have a real and positive impact on the ordinary Liberians. And during his visit to the port and attending the program at the Freeport, he says it's essential that these kind of initiatives are done. This is not something that has been hitting is something that has always been in the public about the Freeport of Monrovia running 24 hours a day, and including on the Sunday as well. You have activities running at the port in order to have, you know, uh, people who have their containers or goods shipped to Liberia can come in. But let's play the clip, Mr. Abu, from the vice president.
I want to go off the script and say to the APN terminal, the National Port Authority, the LRA, all the work you do here, if it don't trickle down on the lady sitting in the market there, it will just be all for the camera and us dressing well and sitting here. The work here must reflect on the woman sitting in the market. It may reflect on the people in the villages. Because when container price reduce, when tariffs and other things are reduced, and one machine breaking down, if APN terminal is supposed to move my machine, I experience it, and that's why I'm saying it. By the time I never had the voice to speak, nobody could listen. But I have the voice now, and that's why I'm speaking for those people who cannot speak out there. You get your container in this port, and sometimes the crane go pick your container up and the crane breaks down, and you charge me for delay. How in this world we can do that? That has to change. The services at this port must change. Yes, when the president comes in, the vice president comes in, big people come in, we try to pin everything and make everything look good, the cameras here, it has to change. And we have to be real, so I'm calling on you, please. Mr. MD, if you are a broker here, you will know what happened here. I have a lot of brokers, I almost became a broker here. Having too many. Bele used to be the president here before, and so I know this place. I know some of the frustration here. And that's why as business people sometimes, we leave the port of Monrovia and ship through the Conakry port. We leave the port of Monrovia and want to ship through the Freetown port. When the volume here increase and the price reduce, you make more money than to ship 2 cars for 1,000. If I to ship 10 cars for 300 each, you make $3,000 than to ship 2 cars for $1,000. I say this because when it goes wrong, it is the president's picture that comes on the front of the newspaper. None of you hear a picture go on the newspaper. Sometimes, unfortunately for me, they put my picture by him too. And so when our children see our picture, and the country is suffering and we are doing nothing, so that they are ashamed to get in the public. And so when we come at this forum, as much as we thank you for some of the work we're doing, we have to be bold and tell you that some of the things happening, what we are hearing from our people is not right and able to change. Ladies and gentlemen.
So you listen to the vice president. Before you come in, Mr. Abu, right? This is something that a lot of Liberians who carry on import business, or importing goods into the country to sell, or importing other materials into the country to sell, always complain about the high rates of the tariff. And it shows to the public that this is no longer a secret. Like, almost everybody knows the issue at the Freeport of Monrovia, and it's something that the vice president seems to be admitting and trying to talk to these people that are in control to take full responsibility and understand that it's not just about doing the business there. It's about having an impact on the ordinary Liberians, people who cannot afford to the higher high. So it shows that there's there's a lot needs to be done at the port in terms of fees charged and some other services that they provide to customers as well. Imagine the vice president also spoke about a situation where the port will go, let's say they will go for your container and the crane breaks down, you have to pay for delayed fee instead of the port taking control. So you listen to the clip that we play, and you listen to the vice president on today after the program at the where he spoke about some of these concerns that usually spark up from the public.
You see, I listened to the vice president. He's a fine gentleman. He spoke at the time he has an opportunity to change things around. But everything he spoke there are things that he suffered in the past when he was an ordinary businessman. And those are the situations he saw. Today, they called him because he was a businessman and he saw things how they went at the time. But today they called him and told him, oh, we are not going to do it as business as usual as how we used to do it. You see, when he talked about, oh, the crane goes to pick up the container in the middle of the air, the crane breaks down and all of these things. That means he's very, very much aware of the problem that existed. Now we have the terminal there. This company that is doing this, they want to operate 24 hours. Does operating 24 hours eliminate all of these problems? Will it stop us from having the crane breaking down in the air, whether midnight or so? You know, are they going to employ more people? Are they going to put more hands on the people to make sure that the cranes come out? There are certain people who import items there. Sometimes it comes, they do not have the money to free their containers, and therefore they have to pay the tariffs, they have to pay this. Now, as the vice president said, if the volume of work increases, he says prices may reduce. I don't know how those two are related, you know, because if the terminal is there and the terminal is still small, have they expanded the terminal? Do they have more space for containers to be kept out of the terminal area? Are the goods that are coming being cleared on time? We know we have the brokers there very much, and they are very good workers. But many people are there complaining about LRA and complaining about other agencies, LRA, which is responsible for customs and other things. They are saying that the percentage of tariff is very high. So LRA should be able to look at this thing, which makes people to get their goods out very fast. Or if it is a mechanical problem or procedural problem that they have with a terminal at the port there, then it means this problem, if they have not solved it, or they brought the president to tell us that the vice president to tell us that they have solved this problem, which we still need to wait. So I'll look forward to the vice president coming back about 2 months from now, so that he'll be able to tell us that whatever problem that existed before he became vice president, when he was a businessman, this problem doesn't exist again. Because right now he's wearing a different shoes as compared to the poor people, as compared to the other people who stay there. For him, as vice president, when anything comes in his name, you will see everybody, you know, Liberians like to be eye servants. Once it comes for his company or for himself, you see everybody fight to make sure that it is clear the same day, even because they will expedite it from LRA, from everywhere. But I believe that everybody must be given fair treatment. This terminal, I think, must be able to double their work. The Freeport itself must be able to come up with other things. But these delays do not only be at the Freeport. What is happening? Is there any way we can even have the Buchanan port used sometimes for vessels that come in with these containers? Because if the Freeport remains the only place, we continue to have a problem. If the volume of shipment increases at the Freeport, many people were really running away from the Freeport simply because the tariffs were very high at the Freeport, and this terminal company was also charging very high daily. So many people would prefer to do their shipment through Freetown, or sometimes people went to Togo to receive their vehicles. Other people went to Guinea and other places in Conakry, Guinea to bring their goods. But if this current thing that they have done at the free port, is it going to stop these people from doing it? Because whatever happens, if you go to Freetown, you bring it, there's custom on the border, at Bullwater side, you will still pay your custom duty there. Anywhere you go, before you enter the country, you still got to pay the custom duty. But what I hear today, the vice president is saying, I still believe that he was explaining the things that happened in the past, and some of his speech I heard in the tune of saying that we are going to do better. Now it is our time. But whatever he went there today, they told him, I think he's convinced, but we want him to come back in about 2 months or 3 months to see whether this one has really stayed. I live in the United States. We deal with a lot of people who are shipping containers to Monrovia, and sometimes the containers are delayed. They all of them here in America, they do cry that it is not them who are charging. Why can you be charging me 1 barrel for $200 from America to Liberia? 1 barrel. And if I'm going to buy goods to put into that barrel for household items for my family back home, I'm going to spend almost about $700-800 to put goods to fill up that thing. Then I'm charged $200, or sometimes $250, or sometimes $300. When you ask why is it so expensive, then they always tell us, oh, you have to ask the Freeport people. The terminal there, they are charging us too much and everything. So what we want to see now is whatever improvement that has been made there today must be commensurate with the charging to reduce at that Freeport, and the whatever services that are provided there, let the services be commensurate with whatever the people are paying, and let the people be satisfied, let the goods come out on time.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Abu, and that is it. They have some new equipment that was also, being launched at the Freeport of Monrovia today, as well as the nighttime operation that they want to fully carry on in order to have uh, the clearing process at the port fast, smooth, and quicker for people to have their goods or other things that they will be bringing in the country coming out of the port faster. So I think it's a great initiative by the management of the port. But like you said, again, these things with all of them, uh, what are some of the measures in terms of extension of the Freeport of Monrovia, in terms of decentralization? It can just be only the Freeport of Monrovia. Even we have foreign investors hindering the Freeport of Monrovia, can the government be able to invest in local seaports and increasing their capacity to take larger vessels that will be cheaper for people to use? Because a lot of people who want to import car into the country, or bring in some other things that would cost a lot of money at the Freeport of Monrovia, will prefer going to the Guinea side to have these things coming into the country instead of using the Freeport of Monrovia, because the thing that it's gonna cost a lot of money, to free either the vehicle if it's being shipped to Liberia. And I think if we can have considerable prices for removing your goods from the port, it's gonna bring a lot of revenue to the country as well, and help in terms of growth, development, and revenue generation for Liberia. And is actually a great one. And I think from the perspective the president spoke, like you said earlier, are things that he suffered in the past, and now he's vice president. and I think he should be able to work in lines to making sure that all of these challenges are worked on and solved in due time. Again, is great if you look at all of that is a great initiative, and we just hope and pray that a lot of these things that was being said that are happening, allegedly happening, some of them which of course we know that uh, are into existence there at the Freeport of Monrovia can be worked on in due time.
Yes, just before you go, I see somebody saying here, how will security and safety be maintained during the nighttime operations, and what additional measures will be put in place to protect personnel and cargo? That is a very, 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 very genuine concern for that person. Because Monrovia, as you see, Monrovia is not a 24-hour city. Monrovia is not a 24-hour city. I don't think working at a port alone can make a Monrovia 24 hours, because right after dark, after 10 o'clock, the entire Monrovia is like empty. The only places you see people in Monrovia in mass are at the entertainment centers. Everywhere people go to sleep. So people work in the port. If you are, what is the security guarantee that sometimes I take my goods or I take my container out of the port at night, then I come out in the street, there is no good, there will not be some hazardous thing, or some armed robbers will not attack my container, which we shall look forward to. And then after the containers are free from the port, we see a lot of security, a lot of different groups follow that container to wherever it's going to be berthed. And sometimes we got to look at who are these people. You see custom people following you. You see the police following you. You see this immigration group following you. We see everybody group following you, to following that container to know where it is going. So they still need to put in place a security measure. If they are going to open the container at a port, let them be able to look into it and make sure that it's completely free, than to have all these people accompany it. But the nighttime operation is very good. That's good for a good economy. It's very good to move the wheel of the economy. But is Liberia ready for the nighttime operations? Because sometimes, even in the night, you go to the police station, you're going to report a case in the police station, you meet the entire police desk, all of them sleeping. You meet them sleeping at a desk. I can tell Gregory Coleman, go overnight. Just go to any of these police stations or depots at night. You go there by 2 o'clock in the morning, they're all sleeping. You see, Monrovia is a sleeping city. We've not really developed a daybreak thing in Monrovia. So this will be the beginning, I think. But we have to provide some security for people. We have to let the port be completely security free and let security protected, so that they'll be able to do these things on time. But I still feel that security is very important. Monrovia still remains a sleeping city. Even when you go to the hospitals, except the emergency room, every other room you meet, even the nurses sleeping, because people, the city has not become an economic-driven place where people run the economy for 24 hours, and we still want things to happen. We want to change, but we do not want to change. So we can only drive a change economy if we decide to change by ourselves, So I still think I want to really commend the Vice President for being there today. And I think his speech was very candid. He put it in the ear of the management of the Freeport. They really understood what the problem has been and what the problem is. And they know that he spoke as one person who has always been there. And our president is continuing to make sure that he gives investors chance to come and do something.
Okay, Mr. Abu. So for us to wrap up, let's quickly just talk a little bit about the invitation extended to 5 African leaders by U.S. President Donald Trump, which also included the Liberian leader, President Joseph Boakai, who are among the 5 African leaders that are going to Washington to discuss commercial opportunities for these 5 countries. And if you look at it, let's just bring a little rundown and talk about President Trump's invitation to these 5 African leaders, where they will look at key aspects to shape aid
to treat during his administration, President Trump administration in the U.S. Also, the American First policy, which were aligned with Trump's administration, and to focus on trade and investment for these 5 African countries as well, and also emphasizing on critical minerals. So they are also going to make discussions about how can the U.S. be able to invest and get some of these minerals that are in these 5 countries, regional security as well. How can Liberia and the U.S. be able to build a stronger regional security to making sure that they can be able to secure both countries, and diplomacy as well. And if you look at some of the discussions that have been around, you have a lot of supporters of the Unity Party seeing this as a big win for the Unity Party government, and you also have some other people in the opposition questioning that uh, uh, this is not the first time for a Liberian leader to be invited to the U.S. Again, some have questions about what should Liberian ask for or expect in a simple term. What should Liberian expect after this initiative, this summit, this visit by the Liberian leader to the U.S. and what are some of the strategic role in mineral diplomacy that Liberia gonna put out there in making sure that they can get the needed attention from the U.S. government. This is not a strange thing. A lot of us growing up and in Liberia, you have to understand that Liberia ally is the U.S. We hold a very strong relationship with America, and every other president that gets elected will always want to maintain that relationship. And what can we do this time to make use of this opportunity? Why should the president uh, be able to bring from this visit of this summit, there from the US? What can we expect? What are some of those developments in these areas that will be talked about, that will be discussed during the summit? So these are questions that Liberians have set forth to ask about this entire invitation, this entire summit. You have leaders from Gabon, from Guinea-Bissau, from Liberia, where President Barker will also be going to the summit. You have Mauritania and Senegal, and they will be leaving on July 9 to officially attend the summit at the White House there in America. So we can just get your take on that, Mr. Abu, and then we have a closing remark and conclude the show for tonight.
You see, one thing people have to remember in diplomacy is that the foreign policy of the government, if it is in line with the foreign policy of other governments, you see them working together. This invitation is a collective one, but why Joseph Boakai, His Excellency Joseph Boakai, was invited is because of his statesmanship, his elderliness among African leaders. What he has done in the 1 year in terms of promoting peace, promoting reconciliation in the most recent times, those are the things that got Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, to start respecting him. There are other things that they are doing. Other presidents are coming. But I want to be very specific on on our president, Joseph Boakai. Because of his statesmanship, his foreign policy, when he came in, the first thing he did was he has been able to change, to appoint an ambassador to the United States, a very good statesman, an educated person, a highly trusted person who also went to Penn State, where Donald Trump went, Dr. Alhassan Conte, His Excellency. So, based on who you send forward, who your diplomats are, can help you to create a good relationship with the government that you are going to. Our president was invited because he's one of the statesmen that can be trusted. He has always continued to have his line and been consistent with what he does, fairness. He wants to fight corruption, as you can see. In most recent days, many government officials have been suspended. He's not allowing people to do things and just run off with it. At what time did we have an ex-speaker to be taken to court? At what time did we have the former mayor, Mary Bro, to be taken to court? And all of these things, they have seen that President Joseph Boakai is on the right trajectory of putting Liberia from where it was 5-6 years ago to a better place. Liberia went down the drain. We have had elections, but today, where we are, things are moving forward. Now, when we say they want to promote trade, there is this thing we call AGOA, which allows African countries producing goods and sending those goods on the American market without paying tariffs for it. Many countries in Africa have not taken advantage of it. Today, you can come in America, you go to a lot of African stores, you see people bringing containers. Those who are aware, Liberia is one of the places. You go into many of the states in America, you see containers coming from Liberia. Red oil is sold very cheap here. Liberian produce is being sold here very cheap. We bring fish, we bring everything from Liberia, until there are some cities in America here where Liberians do not even eat American food. They eat their basajama, they eat everything every day. So he's promoting a trade. Apart from that, we look at the minerals. Liberia is a place where we have a lot of minerals. When people come, they say, oh, we came to mine iron ore. But out of the iron ore, there are other minerals. A lot of geological surveys have been done in Liberia that there are other minerals in addition to these. Now, when we start looking at the interests of America based on our traditional relationship in terms of trade and politics and diplomacy, we can also believe that sometimes because of our rush, either for money, because the American government likes policies that they want to control you, they want to hold you by the nose, pull you by the nose. Sometimes other governments, some governments have not agreed to it. President Joseph Boakai is not going to agree to it. But then one thing we can believe, the Chinese are coming in mass into Africa. The Turkish are coming in mass to Africa, and nothing they're coming for, they're coming to take away our minerals and take them back to China. You go to Monrovia today, it is the Chinese people who are selling the sand. It is the Chinese people who are selling the crushed rock to people who want to build our nation. But why should we be buying our own sand from other people when we should be Liberians doing it? Now, President Boakai coming here, I know he's going to have an opportunity to meet a lot of investors here. That I can assure you. That he's going to meet a lot of investors here and tell them what we have in Liberia to offer them if they can start looking in the direction of Liberia. So that I know the president is going to have an opportunity, especially they will also be discussing regional security. The security in the region is very volatile. No one must tell you, no, it's not good. It's volatile. Because after this, Burkina Faso, Benin, and the other country have pulled out of ECOWAS. ECOWAS was a regional organization, first for trade, but then security came in that will be able to protect one another. What we did in other countries, we have not been able to achieve that in Burkina Faso. We're not able to achieve it in Guinea. So the security system, in terms of protecting the governments and protecting our people, is not working well. So this is why they look at these presidents from Gabon, from Guinea, from Guinea-Bissau, from Senegal, and our statesman, our old man, President Joseph Boakai, to come and sit down to see how they can work along how America can help them to protect their borders, to protect West Africa, so that West Africa cannot be taken over by the Chinese. So if we can say that that is a +1 for us, I don't want to go into where people are saying, oh, other presidents have come before this and that. Yes, they came before because they performed. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf came here so many times because she was performing at the time. She was the darling girl for Africa. Joseph Boakai is a statesman, a senior statesman, a senior president in West Africa. You look among all of them, he's one of the oldest and one of the wisest. He's really behaving well. He's really doing it well. And we look forward to him coming to the United States. He's going to meet with investors who are willing to invest in Liberia. And I can tell you, for no joke, that after he leaves from here, you will see investors visiting Liberia. You will see trade delegations going to Liberia. Liberia will be doing better.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Abu. Finally, let's just get your parting comments for today's presentation on the roundtable. Before we conclude for our presentation today, let's get your parting comments.
What I will want to say again is to go back to the Ministry of Labor. Ministry of Labor should understand that there is a high unemployment rate among the youth of that country. Any intervention must be directed and proceduralized so that people, our young people, will be able to get jobs. Temporary jobs are not what we are looking for them. They should be able to get sustainable jobs and long-term jobs. We have Meter Steel. We got all of these people coming together, all of these companies. Talk to these companies. Meter Steel is in Nima. Why do students from Nima need to come here to Monrovia to register with the Ministry of Youth and Sport, with the Ministry of Labor? When we were coming up, the Ministry of Youth and Sports was mainly responsible for vacation job for students. I can remember 1979, the Federation of Liberian Youth, FLY, was doing projects in the rural areas. I was one of the volunteers. At that time, I had just graduated from Tubman High School, and we went to Wasanga, the home of the president, the home of President Joseph Boakai. Went to Wasanga. We built a school there, and we built a clinic, and we dug wells in the community in Wasanga. And it was all students that were taken from every county in Liberia. We had students from every county, Grand Jide, Sino, Maryland, and we formed that group. And we only had few technicians. I think about 3 or 4 technicians we had. And the technicians were students who came from BWI. They brought them. They were the technicians. They were the carpenters, the masons and other things. And we as students, we were just the helpers, and we kept the place going. We helped them, and we built that school. The school is still in Wasanga. The clinic is still in Wasanga from 1979. So I still believe that there are other youth programs that should be empowered even through budgetary supplementation, like the Federation of Liberian Youth. They need to demilitarize the Federation of Liberian Youth. The Federation of Liberian Youth must not be part of SUP, must not be part of these little groups that demonstrate. There should be a group that representing all of the youth of the country. Government can trust them. And sometimes you put the youth together, they are willing to do some work. They're willing to volunteer to do some work. Because there is too much idleness in the city, this is why anyone can pay them to come and protest, to come and stand in the streets, to press banners, to be singing like militants. Those days must be over. So I'm saying the Ministry of Labor for this particular program, They need to halt it and come back to the drawing board and be able to explain to the youth what the criteria is for these jobs. Who are they going to work for? How long are they going to work, and how much will they be paid? And to close, I want Liberians to be very proud that President Joseph Numa Boakai, among more than 50 presidents in Africa, is being selected as one of 5 to come to the White House. Coming to the White House is an opportunity for your country. We know there may be naysayers, but being invited to the White House and coming to America under such banner provides you an opportunity to do a lot for your country. We trust him. He's a senior statesman. And the people at the Freeport, please try to do something better for our people. You see the vice president crying, and when he was the businessman, a lot of things he suffered at that place. And now he's in a different position. He doesn't want other people to suffer that way. So I want to be very thankful to you tonight. I know we are going to come back next Tuesday and we'll be discussing other topics, but this is a very good initiative of Wiz TV. The roundtable is where we sit around the table and discuss trending issues. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abu, for coming on here tonight so that we can talk about some of these things that are happening across Liberia, some of these trending topics. And we'll be on here next Tuesday again for another splendid presentation. So, like the Ministry of Labor, I think there should be more to what they did today. Like you said everything the perfect way. The Ministry of Youth and Sport and other youth organizations that are into leadership should be able to spearhead these kind of initiatives rather than the Ministry of Labor. I believe that the Ministry of Labor should be able to supervise as to where these young people are going to work and the kind of job and how much they are going to be paid for the services they will be rendering in that period of time. At the Freeport of Monrovia, I think the needs to do more, as the vice president spoke about some of these challenges at the port, which is not good for our country and not as people, and especially for people that are doing business and bringing goods into the country through the Freeport of Monrovia. So all of these things are essential and important that we talk about them across our country, especially when is the right time to talk about them. And again, we will come on here next Tuesday, beginning 9 p.m. Liberia time, and we will talk more about things that are happening across Liberia. As we go on with the show, we're hoping to invite guests that will come and talk about some of these things and people that are in these areas that we have discussions about to come and give us answers to some of these questions we are asking ourselves tonight in the audience. So again, do join us Tuesday and Thursday for another splendid edition of the program. And we're hoping to have Mr. Abu again on Tuesdays and Thursdays, as well as Mr. Gray and Mr. Fopana, who are all panelists on the program. So thank you guys for watching, and thank you, Mr. Abu, for being on here tonight. And we hope that you always be available for all of these discussions that will be coming out in the future.